Okay, hello, we are the Luminflares. We are going to present our project, but more specifically, our solution to our problem that is very important for the people that we are working with.
Okay, so we will introduce ourselves. You already know us, maybe the people on the internet do not. So we are composed by
Bernardo, Gustavo, Carlos,
me, Mauro.
Oliver.
And me, listen. Okay, so imagine one situation. You are at the line of the bank, as you can see here. You are at the line of the bank, and someone suddenly starts going on the back of you, at the back of you, at the back of you, at the back of you. You are doing things that would happen normally at the bank. I don't know, boring things. Bank is always very slow. So everyone is just at the line, and someone starts screaming out of nowhere. maybe he starts doing some weird things. Maybe he starts just screaming, starts punching people. We don't know. But what would you think? No? Maybe you would think that he has some type of mental illness, that he has a crisis, that he has some type of anxiety. Well, you don't know what is going on with him, right? But it happens something.
You don't know either if you're in danger, if you should get out of the bank and run, you should take all the money and run.
Okay, so that's what Casa de Medio Camino does. He takes care of people with some type of mental illness, but specifically schizophrenia, to prevent them from having those attacks that happened in the story that we told. They try to minimize those symptoms in the way so that they can re-enter society in a better way, and they can work in a functional way so that they can enter everything and don't have those attacks on normal life and don't threaten their family, the people that is around them, or even some random people at the bank, as I mentioned. They make a plan so that they can treat that, and everything is made by themselves. Well, the people that enter by themselves, and no one is forcing them to be in there. So they are doing it by themselves.
Okay, so what is their mission? Their mission basically is to fulfill a critical social function, which is by providing a service that if Casa Medio Camino didn't exist, it wouldn't be available to these people. With this, they try to contribute to social inclusion and also well-being of the community at large. With this, as we explained with the scene, is that their mission and our mission is to help people who really need it, who are there because they want to change, they want to go back to society as normal people and carry on their lives, and to feel normal and to feel safe and make everyone feel safe around them.
Okay, so what's the current situation? Nowadays, Casa de Medio Camino is having some struggles with the money, as they only receive 30%, around 30% of the total amount of the treatment by the patient residents' families. That they make that 30% at least, as they want to impact their lives and they want to give that help. And well, they don't receive that 70% that is left, so they have to put it with their pockets. And what do? And nowadays they try to make enter calls for funding for NGOs and government supports, but they have to have three main things. They have to have a real need for fundings, they have to have a real impact, and they have to have a real progress so that people have exit the house in a good way and re-enter, but getting out in a good way. So what is going on also? The staff is having a high workload, as they have to treat the patients, they have to get their information, they have to take care of them, giving them food, even bathing them in some times. They have to do a lot of things, and nowadays only one staff is at the house at the time, as they don't have the amount of money to give them. And well, that also leads them so that they don't make the reports that they need for accessing the calls. They do some kind of reports, but it's very, very basic. And also it's in hand with the bad organization. They had a very bad organization of the information. They have everything in paper, and they have it like thrown away in a small room. It even has some dust in them, as they even enter there, as they don't want to mess up with everything. But when they do enter, they take around 10 to 30 minutes to get that information and to generate those reports. They take around 7 hours to days or weeks, as all information is everywhere. So in our desired state, we want them to generate those reports in a faster way and to prove a real impact on that they are doing on the house. This will help them to apply to many goals and have a higher probability to get those fundings. So if they get those fundings, they could help more the residents, they could enter more people, and also the staff will have less workload. And also in the desired state, they have a quick way to access all information, so that they only take them maximum 5 minutes.
Well, what if our system didn't exist? Well, the first thing that we know is that all the people that are in the house, they are going to be forced to quit because they don't have the government investment, and also the staff will be forced to close all the house. And imagine that you have a family, I don't know, your uncle that is in the house and is having a treatment because he's schizophrenic, he's crazy. and his process is going good and good and good, and in some point they will tell him, no, you will have to leave because we don't have enough money to keep you in their treatment in good time and with the medicines that you need. And that will be a very bad notice for him and for his family, because he will finish the treatment in good way and he will still be crazy.
Okay, so about our solution, it is done mainly in the Excel model. And
Okay, so we're going to go through some of the main features, and you'll see also some of the functional and non-functional requirements, which we will also explain later. First of all, we have security. As you can see, we have to introduce the correct username and password. It depends if you are a staff member or admin. Okay, so here we can see some of the features. First of all, we have the button Gestionar Perfil del Residente, which is basically addressing our first main feature, resident profile management. We can see here, we can create a profile, search for a resident's information, update resident's information, add resident's information, and delete resident. What was happening in the current situation that we have? As Luis Fer explained, it was very difficult to make the reports because as there were a little people or small amount of staff in the center, they didn't have the time or like the protocol to ask for certain information. So maybe for the first patient, they asked for their name and relative information and maybe medication. And for the other resident, they asked their age, their name, and maybe the illness they had. So it wasn't consistent. Here, every single box here has to be filled with validated information. As you can see, a message is prompted with an alert, letting the user know what type of information has to be imputed here. Maybe for example, who wants to be a patient?
I want to be a
Okay, Carlo and then JP. Okay, Carlo wants to be a patient of Casa Medio Camino. Carlo,
I am a patient.
please, last name?
Willy Wonka.
Second last name?
Willy.
Gender?
Date of birth?
1984. I am
1984 month,
March.
March. Yeah, we'll
We'll help you.
Yeah, thank you. We'll help you.
Epilepsy.
As you can see, you only have certain options to fill out the patient's profile, and the system is always validating the information you're inputting. So this makes sure that every resident that enters this center has the same type of information in the profile. A confirmation message, and then we'll see how the new patient profile is added to the system. Here we looked for the patient information. Here we can change something. And yeah, maybe add the progress or the 3 types of medication they're taking, additional comments, like mainly the process they're having to keep track of the information that is needed to produce the reports. This is also required by the NGOs and the governments in the applications and the formats that we need to follow. Here we can see, the database, which is mainly of every patient we have, with their information. The dashboard, which is where we have all the statistics and all the reports going on. The log, which is the evidence of everything that has been modified in our system, by who, the date, basically the person, the user, everything that occurred in our system. And finally, we can manage also the users. We can add a user, we can delete a user, and we can assign a role to a user, which is only admin or staff. We can generate the report. We have to also confirm the generation. It displays it as a PDF or maybe Excel format. We can see Willy. So the information was added. This is our prototype. We would love to have the statistics also in the report. And finally, we also aim to connect with the financial reports, which is mainly because the applications of certain NGOs also require the financial information to be able to prove that they need the money.
So now we have the non-functional. The first one is, we want our system function like all the year, just for a little time of 0.2 hours non-function. And all the reports that it generates, it will be exported in Excel 2010 and PDF 1.3. We want that our system have a good performance, so they support 20 users at the same time. And we follow this norm that is for medical data protection. And the security, we have all the staff and the administration, or the admin, need to log in with a user and a password. and they have like different roles. So only the admin can change the patient information, not the staff. So the staff only can like register or see the information patient.
So those are the main stakeholders. We have the main sponsors that we identify, so that are the external donors, and the Miss Lourdes Bonilla, that is a contact that is helping us to develop this project. We have the direct users that are going to be the center director and the staff. We also have the indirect users that are the residents and the families of the residents, and the rule makers that are the government organizations.
So, for the context of our program, all data gathering begins with the source of information, which in this case will be the one who suffers the symptoms, right? The patient. He is the one that contacts the staff. The staff will then input through the PC, right? Typing to the Clarity system, which is our system, the Excel. Anything that they want, right? Grab the patient profile, record the patient progress, view the patient information, and so on, while the director is the only one that requests either the personal information or updates their profile, or requests the report to be made. Now, the communication between the PCE, which in the case of the administrator or the director, it is a macOS Ventura system, and in case of the staff and us, it is a Windows system. But both communication happen through either, in case of the Windows system, the COM to manipulate the Excel file, and in Apple, it's the APFS system, which is Apple's unique management system for anything in general. Then the Clarity system, only when crafting the send report in the PDF format, we'll interact with Python, requesting it through the VBA shell script. Then the Python will retrieve all of the information from the from the Excel spreadsheet through the Open XML SDK, which is basically what is triggered by Pandas library. After getting that information, then Python, okay, then Python sends the report to the director, and the director sends the report to the NGOs.
So first, we want to increase the ability to attract more external attention. We want to do it by 40% within 1.5 years. The second one is we want to generate 100% of all the reports necessary. So this way, we can reduce the time that at least 70% of they took for report preparation. The third one is we want to ensure that at least 85% of the patients can have all the information. And this way the staff and the admin can handle and analyze the information in a better way. And we want to implement it by 5 months after the implementation. And the fourth one, we want to reduce the total time that required to retrieve the patient information from 30 minutes to a maximum of 5 minutes. And we want to do this within 5 months of system implementation.
So what we're going to do is to give the staff and the director of the center the data management and reporting system, our system, that is an integrated system that will work within the organization and will automate data entry, speed up information retrieval, generate comprehensive reports on patient progress and impact on the organization. Compared to the current situation, they do manually the process and they rely heavily on the physical records and the director memory. And our solution will speed up the process so they take less time and they can.
Well, we choose the middle pattern because why we choose it? Because it provides clear separation of responsibilities, and this improves the maintainability and allows for scalability as the system grows.
Why not? Because it it could be an increase of complexity. So next.
Okay, so these are the layers: UI layer, management patient, the first one that we saw, then the control layer, which validates the process. It also does the audit manager, triggers the external tasks such as making the report, and there's data storage layer, which is the Excel sheet, and that's it.
Just for you to explain it, why did you decide the layer structure? Why not that?
Why? Mainly because we had a hard time with the other. No, being for real. Okay, so it's because we thought that. Can you go to our like the last one? Yes. The separation that we had was very simple, and at the end of the day, we were working all within Excel because Excel and VBA are the ones processing everything. So we actually couldn't separate, like for example, with our component architecture, Excel was in all of the parts, and so for the MVC, Excel was in everything. But if we made it into a layer design for the architecture, we could have an easier time, how to say, explaining that all of the components participate in all of the layers through the data gathering. For example, for the generate report, which is a unique action that includes Python, we first generate report by clicking the generate report in the UI layer. Then it directs to the control layer, which for VBA, it triggers the external task, right? VBA triggers Python to interact with pandas back to the Excel, to gather all of the information through the Excel sheet, and which is basically the data storage, right? So it's like two, then it goes back to, the control layer, and it shows in the UI layer, message of validation that the report has been created. And we believe that system works better, right? So like if we do the manage patient profile, it validates all of the process and the inputs. It updates the data storage layer, right? That's the audit manager, right? So it will be like two. And then it goes back to the UI, which is the, display showing that the query has been done.
Out of just curiosity, because the last time I was here, you guys didn't have the problem at all. So how did you went from that to? No, I'm not the teacher. I don't know the things that the teacher knows, but I saw that the problem was way mejor planteado, way better planteado. So how did you went from that thing from 3 months ago or more to this that is way better?
Well, we had a very, very hard time, as you mentioned. So we were just facing the wall many times until we think we made it. And also we talked a lot with the center, with Lourdes Bonilla, who is in contact. So we approached her a lot more. We talked to her a lot more. We went to the center a lot more. We participated with them a lot more. So everything we did was like more connected with the center than we did before. So that helped us to learn more about them and know what struggles they had and what opportunities they had.
Yeah, as the teacher said, we stopped assuming and we started focusing on what the information that people provided that was real, that we were assuming, we didn't know how to ask for it.
And one last question. Where did you use Python?
Python is used only for the report generation.
Okay.
It's this one. Yay.
Any other questions?
No questions from the internet. Thank you, team.